Welcome back to a sleepy episode of A Guide to Poor Parenting, a podcast where me, Jason,
and me, Jennifer,
have a few drinks
and talk shit about our kids.
Please follow us on Instagram and YouTube at Guide to Poor Parenting.
And Twitter, Facebook, TikTok at Poor Parent Pod.
Yes, Miss Jennifer.
Yes, sir.
How's your week been?
I'm still trying to get over my sickness, so that's not fun. Getting excited about Thanksgiving, so, that's always fun. I love that I don't cook. I hate that, my mom does so much, and there's only a hand. You can see who appreciates it and who doesn't.
Yeah.
And kids tend to not show any type of appreciation whatsoever about, how much work goes into it. And, I don't know when I was a kid, if I
I never did
it, but I have a tendency now to thank all the time because, trying to, I guess, make up for the past.
Yeah. No, I feel
every Sunday I'm like, thank you, it's so good when you cook for me, as our Sunday family tradition of eating. But I always now thank and appreciate and, just try to, again, I guess make up for the time. But I'm excited about my foods.
It's funny because we talked about this last episode, but this episode will actually come out 2 weeks after Thanksgiving.
Yeah. So. Well, but this is what, I'm excited about right now. Right. So,
yep.
I love my mama's cooking, so.
You want to talk about where you might be going after?
I mean, we can. I'm going to try to plan a trip to New Orleans.
Woo!
My really good friends, from my softball days, so that's 10 plus years ago, because I'm old and I would.
Oh, I was thinking high school, but you're talking like 20s?
30s.
Okay.
It was an adult softball co-ed league that I joined with a coworker, and I made really good friends with some of them. You've met two of them at she never played, but he did. That couple we run into in Kroger when we go shopping together. They have a little kid. You might not remember, but we've ran into them there a couple times. But Kelly and Anthony, Kelly was a news anchor at one of the local TV shows.
Oh, okay.
And that's what brought them. Well, Anthony did the assistant coaching on our indoor football league thingy that we had at the VBC. It didn't last long. I guess it's arena football, maybe is what it's called.
Okay.
But he was the assistant coach, so we got, good seats and got to go watch. And it was a lot of fun because I love football. And she was a news anchor. And so she might have done sports too. I'm not 100% sure because horrible memory that I have. Sorry, Kelly. But they came down, Kelly came down once by herself for her brother's wedding. And then they have this adorable little boy named Bishop who is super cute, wicked smart. Instead of, the Three Little Lambs golden books being read to him at bedtime, he wants the dinosaur encyclopedia.
Okay, I think you've mentioned them before, yeah.
Okay, I wasn't sure if I had or not.
The dinosaur encyclopedia is ringing a bell.
Yeah, I gotcha. And oh my God, he's so smart that he's in kindergarten and they're having to give him extra work to do because he's getting bored with the kindergarten stuff, but they don't want to move him up grades because he's only in kindergarten.
Yeah, he's a little immature for it.
Right.
Yeah.
And Anthony, of course, being a new sportscaster person, don't know words right now, for the Big Ten and all of the different types of leagues that they have for college football. And Kelly played lacrosse in high school and then college, and she coaches lacrosse, and so they're a very sports oriented family.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, and so Anthony's like, no, I don't want him to go up because I want him to be, in his like size. I don't want him to be the small kid and the, you know, when he gets older.
Is he athletically inclined?
I have no idea, because he's 5. So, you know, I don't know when you kind of start to see that. I mean, I think they play with him, but I think it's just for play. So I really don't know when you start to see that. But anyways, they came down a couple times this year, and he is hosting some classic bowl game kind of thing down in New Orleans. And they invited me to go. And so I can kind of do like behind the scenes and drum lines and kind of get to see all of the fun stuff.
That'll be a lot of fun.
The only thing is that, you know, we got to see if I can get a hotel room, because, you know, if it's a bowl game, everybody might be trying to get hotel rooms. So it's going to be now, logistics. Like if I can get a flight room, I'm set, because you can get an Uber anywhere. I don't want to drive down because,
you don't want to drive 8 hours?
Well, I mean, and you know, if I had more time.
Yeah. No,
it's just time constraints right now. But yeah, so I want to see if I can do it. I'm going to try if I can. It would be great to get away. Mama said that she'd watch Wesley. So, yeah, I'm kind of excited about that too. We'll see.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun.
So I guess everybody will know next episode, because y'all are going after Thanksgiving also on a little trip.
Yes, we are. We're going to St. Louis. It's become a little bit of a tradition. I think this is our third Thanksgiving we've done. My cousin Kelly, she lives in St. Louis, and you've come with us before.
I don't know.
It wasn't the after thing. It was during the summer.
That's what I thought.
But Kelly wanted to do, she's always like, oh, do y'all want to do Thanksgiving at our house? And normally I would say yes, but like, cause I got older kids, and if I don't host the Thanksgiving, they're not going to have a Thanksgiving. Yeah. So it's like, I kind of feel it's important for me to do that for them.
Right. And then the babies.
Yeah. And the babies. Yeah.
So
and I want to see them.
You know, they can keep, well, you know, they can have memories.
Yeah. So it's, I enjoy, it's tiring, but Zay and I went Friday and got my mother just moved into a assisted living place, and not assisted, but independent living place. And they have, they were offering Thanksgiving dinner. I don't know if I talked about it.
I think you did on the last podcast, because I asked if it was bland, because old people like bland food. But
after we had it at 4:30, you know, we were done, and we were like, what the fuck are we going to do now? So we went and grocery shopping. So let's just knock it out. So we went and got all our shit. The only thing we're missing was turnip greens. So they had a shit ton of collards, but I tend to prefer to cook turnips just because they cook faster. Collards, you have to cook a long time.
Yeah, but they're the best.
They are good. Well, your mom apparently does a really good job, but
she does turnips and collards, because we're kind of
split.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me and Ashley mostly are all about the collards. I'll eat turnips. I'm not gonna like turn turnip greens away, but if you have turnips and collards in front of me, then I'm going to lean more towards the collards for some reason. They're just my jam.
And I feel like I've gotten pretty good doing the turnip greens.
You do. I mean, every time we've had them with our meals on Sundays, they always taste good. And I hope that, you know, me putting hot sauce on it doesn't offend you. No, but the only person's greens I've ever eaten that I never put hot sauce on are Drew's.
Well, the only reason I don't spice them up, you and Zane eat things spicier than I do. Yeah. So, and I also don't want to make it so spicy that the babies want to eat it.
Well, and I don't think most people, because I said, of all the greens I've ever eaten at restaurants, at Mama's, like everywhere, there's always a little bit of hot sauce added.
And that's
I just think Drew somehow
she knows the magic.
Yes. I mean, she has the magic mac and cheese, and now she has, you know, the magic greens. But yeah, I those are the only collards I've ever not done, but it, you know, doesn't really matter. Like we were talking about how I don't ever really salt to taste or whatever. Yeah. That's the only thing I ever really put anything on. But yeah, so St. Louis, you're going to go down on Friday or drive on Friday.
Yeah, we'll drive. Yeah. And Mom and, this might be the last time my dad's sisters are alive and together. Cause my dad was one of 4 siblings. He was the second youngest. And the eldest sister died. Oh, God.
She died a while ago.
10 years.
Yeah.
I think before I met Zane.
Is that Nelda?
No, that's my mom's sisters.
Oh, okay.
So
sorry.
my dad's eldest sister was Carolyn, but we called her Chunna.
Okay, I don't remember.
Yeah, you wouldn't have. She,
No, I mean like you telling me about her.
But she died before Zane and I think, met. And then my dad died next 6 years. When did he die? He died in 2013 because he died in 13.
So 10 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Cause next year Kelly got married and the next year we got married. So yeah, I think that's right. 10 years. But
wow.
So it's only Nancy, who's the baby, and Martha, who was in between Carolyn and my dad. And Martha is a skeleton.
Yeah, you told me about her. Yeah. I haven't met her. Nancy, I love.
Yeah, Nancy's been on the podcast. She's a sweetheart.
She is and she lives in St. Louis, so that is nice. Mm-hmm. Where does Martha live?
She lives in Northeast Texas, where they all grew up.
Okay. So is Martha?
So her youngest son, my cousin Tom, is going to drive her up.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's what
When was the last time you saw her?
Thanksgiving.
Oh.
At Kelly's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But she recently went to the hospital and spent some time with her daughter in Dallas. And she's lost, she was always kind of a slender woman, but she is just a walking skeleton at this point. Mm-hmm. And last time I hung out with her independently of the family, like you could tell she didn't have muscle mass in her diaphragm because she's just like on the phone, it's fine because she's got the microphone right in her mouth. Right. But like one-on-one, she'd kind of talk like this. It was just like couldn't, you just didn't have the muscle
to be able to be loud. So when I get to that age, I'll actually be like talking normally then instead of loud.
Yeah, maybe. But she, I don't think she's got too much longer to live. And Nancy, her dementia is starting to worsen. Aww. Cause Kelly, I've noticed I call Nancy I call all of them once a week, but Nancy, we repeat conversations a lot and she'll repeat herself a couple of times in the conversation. And Kelly said it's really bad in person. Yeah. Nancy said, she's like, oh, I want to drive home with you and your mom from Thanksgiving and stay like a week. And then maybe move into your mom's, assisted living. And I'm like, I don't see Nancy. Cause she just moved, like Kelly just moved her out of, an independent living place that she was at into Kelly's house. And she's always like, she's never happy wherever she's at. She's like lonely or miserable. And
maybe being with Mama would help her and we could visit her more.
I would be fine with that, but I don't know if Kelly is willing to do it because Nancy's already spent all her retirement money. So she's down to just her Social Security.
I did not know that.
Yeah, luckily, I think she's got like about 100,000 left or something like that. But my uncle, she was an economist for the state of California. My dad, her husband Ed, my uncle Kelly's dad, was an engineer for Howard Hughes' company, Hughes. Whatever Howard Hughes, remember his company, and it was a big defense contractor. So and they lived in California, so they had some money. Yeah. But she has put a lot of money into Kelly over the years, so Kelly owes her, and Kelly can afford it.
Well, but I mean, I'm sure that Nancy probably doesn't like to have two kids that are Riley and
I agree,
crazy around her.
Well, I agree, and she's in the basement, so it's not too bad.
But stairs.
It's a pretty not confined, but a tight staircase, and that's easier for her to navigate because she can hold on to both sides.
Yeah, because Kelly lives in a house that slaves lived in, and they have
they were out back
hidden doors, and we went down one little different staircase that the help would use, and I was like, this is crazy because I don't. Instead, I've been in antebellum houses, the one in Asheville, where of course, but then to be in a house in St. Louis where you don't think about that. Yeah. And it's not this massive, estate with lots of land around like you think of with slaves, or I think of with slaves. Yeah. And you see this and you're like, oh.
Yeah. But either way, I wouldn't mind if she came. I just don't know that Kelly, because her dementia is getting so bad. I just don't know. I can't imagine Kelly's that anxious because she is still her power of attorney and it would complicate things. So
Gotcha.
if she was here, I mean, if I was the power of attorney, it probably wouldn't be as bad, but I'm not
You do not need any more stress on you.
Yeah,
you
I don't.
Do not need to be the power of attorney.
I'm not
over
offering
Nancy.
it.
Yeah.
If Kelly were to pass away, like if the whole family died and Nancy was my responsibility, I'd take it.
You
but
take it, yeah. But
it is not something I'm looking out to do.
Right.
So,
but
and
if
I think
she does it, Kelly could, you ask and you could be like, okay, this is what they said.
Yeah.
I
just know my cousin too. She's trying to accommodate her mom as much as possible, but I don't think she's looking to do, I would be shocked if she would do it. So
I just think it might be the best for her, but that's just my opinion because I don't have that situation. I mean, I don't think my grandpa had dementia. I think he was just old because he would just tell the same stories over and over and again. And I imagine I tell the same stories over and over again because I forget that I've told you these same stories.
Yeah.
So then like halfway through, you're like, you've already said this. And I'm like, oh, my bad.
Yeah, but I do the same
because
thing.
Then you forget that I've told you and then you're like, oh wait, that sounds familiar. Yeah, this is what happened. Yep, that's what happened.
This is our whole podcast. We're like, have we told this story about the kids?
Right.
Have we told?
Right.
Yeah.
So everybody can see how,
yeah.
I
mean, I wouldn't be opposed. I just don't know that Kelly's gonna and Nancy changes her mind so goddamn often. So it's a bit tough.
On the cruise with us. Not going on the cruise with us. Oh, I should have went on the cruise with you guys. Nancy's not your mama's sister, right? That's your dad's sister.
Yeah. She's her sister.
But they're so much alike, which is crazy because they're not related but by marriage, but they're so similar.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that your mom had such a good relationship with your father's family.
Yeah.
That she still does stuff with his family and with her family. Like it's it's
very happy,
a very good blended family. Yeah. And that you also are like the sweetest dude in the world. To be like, okay, on Mondays and Wednesdays, I call,
one of my
Abert and Faye. And then on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I call Nancy. And then on Friday, I'll call Martha. And I do this all the time. And then if I call and they don't answer, and then I didn't hear the phone ring. And because I've met two of them.
Yeah,
I met Faye, and Abert, and
Nancy.
And I'm so proud I'm getting his name right. I just think of Bert and Ernie, and it's an Ebert. Because I was always calling him Ebert.
Yeah.
So I didn't ever put the A in there, but they're just so freaking sweet. And Abert has different views in life than I do, but I was always joking that I was going to try to butter him up so that maybe he can put me in the will because he got some money. But I don't think that's going to happen because we definitely are not on the same view on a lot of things.
Mom and I have actually talked about Faye and Abert too, that if he passes away, we're going to move her out here to take care of her. And then even if
she's in worse health than he is, isn't she?
Well, they're she's about 12 years older than he is.
Oh, she's a cougar.
Yeah. They got married when she was in her 60s. So.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
But she's pushing 90, so
that might be me. I might be getting married in my 60s.
But she, I've even told Mom, I was like, if she passes first, I'll tell Abert if he wants to move out here. I'll be a resource for him because he doesn't really have any of his biological family left that he's close to. And he's such a odd duck that he's kind of driven off a lot of the people in his life. So I was
whatever he says, you just have to let it just slide off your back.
It's not necessarily he's mean or cruel. He's
no. He just has different views than we do.
Yeah.
And he says what he thinks.
He'll say offensive
right away.
Yeah, he'll say offensive things, not to be mean, but he's just kind of off in his own little world, and he grew up in that time, I mean, if someone told me, "Oh, Abert's autistic," I'd be like, "Oh yeah, I can totally see that."
Functioning autism.
Yeah. But I don't know. I want to help them because they, you know, I just want Faye especially. She's just had a kind of a tough,
I really like her.
Poor thing. She's
we just gotta yell at her all the time.
Deaf
and I'll be fine with that because I'm a loud person anyway. So
I can always tell when she forgets her hearing aid because I'm having to scream into the phone, and she's like, "Okay, oh, I guess you said." It's so sad. I feel so bad for her, but I was like, but she's starting on the decline too. Yeah. She's starting to have a lot more health problems and her vision is almost completely gone now. So,
and it's really hard when two elderly people, to try to help each other.
Yeah. And
not be able to.
Well, they got some home health in, you know.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know that because.
You know, it's funny though. Oh, no. So my aunt Nelda, the sister next older in line for my mom.
Right.
She had a stroke in her 70, like her late 60s, early 70s, something like that, and was disabled from it. Like she lost her ability to speak and she lost, it was sad, but she lived for about 5 years like that.
And she passed, right?
Yeah, from cancer eventually.
Damn.
Yeah. Nelda was, anyway, we'll talk about
We like Nelda because we've talked about her before.
Yeah, she is the light of my life and I just adored her as an aunt. But anyway, she had a home health care worker named Angela that was with her until she died. And now Angela's helping my Aunt Glenda. The next aunt out from Nelda.
Aww.
So.
That's dedication right there on her part.
Well, Angela kind of married into the family too, cause she ended up she's like in a relationship with Nelda's son.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's even better then. Hopefully she takes really good care.
I hope so, because
gets written into the will.
My cousin's nuts, so I hope he.
Hey, there's always one person for somebody.
This is true.
That is funny, but yeah. So, you're excited. You're ready. I know your week is because we're still on how has your week been.
Yeah.
You didn't really. I jumped into what you're going through, but
Zane and I went over to my mom's old townhouse and kind of cleared out more shit. And Zane's mom came over and kind of went through stuff Mom was going to donate anyway.
Gotcha.
And actually got some stuff. And I brought the shoes.
Okay,
they're in my car, in the electric car.
Cool.
Remember
that, Zane.
Yeah. And so Jennifer was a sweetheart and said she'd come over and help me like get rid, because we have like 8 bags of trash.
Yeah.
And I still got to bring more trash bags because Kyle still forgot shit in the freezer.
Oh gosh.
So, and there's some other stuff we got to throw away, but
because we just got to clean the house up so that way the people that own the house can.
Yeah. Well, the house cleaner's coming to Monday, I think, to do the final cleaning,
okay. But we got to get all the stuff out.
Yeah.
So that she can clean it really well.
All the stuff we're going to donate I'm going to move the trash and the donate stuff out to the garage.
Okay.
And then she'll just clean it around that.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And let her
and we'll do that on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, so I'm ready. I'm tired. Like I'm tired today, but I'm doing pretty good.
Good.
So
all right. We got to do our annual walk last night.
Oh, yes.
It was, so I know we've talked about this many times. We had Crystal on, the podcast, her family, she has 3 kids, Ava,
Ethan.
Is Clea's age and they're besties. Then there's Ethan who's younger, but him and Wesley always kind of joked around and, played. And then they had a baby. Ice baby.
Isaac? Yeah. Isaac.
Yeah. And he's ice baby. And he was on the podcast with Crystal when we did it because we had to kind of stop, I think, a couple of times because he didn't really want nobody to hold him but Mama.
Who's a little fussy.
But they moved away and this is the first time in 5 years?
For you.
For me, I think.
12 years for us.
For 12 years for y'all that y'all did this.
Yeah.
So before kids, y'all would all do it.
Yeah, we went.
And then each kid slowly but surely got introduced to it because it was Ava first and then it was Ethan and then
Isaac.
And then Kalia and Wesley and then Isaac was the last one. And so Kalia was super bummed last night because it was just all grown up.
And I don't know if Jennifer mentioned this, but we're talking about the Galaxy of Lights here in Huntsville.
I'm sorry. I did not.
You said our walk, but I don't think you mentioned
my bad.
it. But it's a really pretty trail of Christmas light displays they put up in the botanical garden.
Yeah.
And we've done it for 12 years now.
Yeah. And we always do the walk. You can drive after a certain time. On certain days, you can go walk puppies, which I've done before with Patrick and AJ. Just go and walk your puppies. And you can have Santa will take pictures with the puppies, and it's wicked cute and stuff, which I didn't see Santa this year.
Yeah,
I don't know if we skipped him because there was a lot of, okay, you can take a left or a right, and I don't know if we ever got back to
I don't know.
that
I didn't
part,
see him.
but whatever.
I remember when we first got Wesley and Kalia, we got a couple of Santa pictures with them.
Yeah. And coolest thing though is there was a lot more drink tents than normal.
Yeah.
So we start walking and then there's just an alcohol tent and I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, and they were selling some old fashions.
So they had Jason and Zane love old fashions, but instead of a regular old fashioned, they did gingerbread simple syrup.
Oh,
it was a lot sweeter than what your normal old fashioned would be, especially for Jason, because Jason he is just kind of, he can eat some cookies and some candy, but when it comes to drinking sweet, it's like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
And they had Glühwein, which is a German wine with a whole bunch of spices and it's heated and I've always loved it. And if you have an Aldi's near you, they sell the bottles and they're wicked cheap and you can make your own and it's just, I liked it. So I got me a Glühwein. And I think it ended up being your old fashioned went to Zane and Zane got your Glühwein because of the sweetness.
Well, I didn't even make it through all the Glühwein. Like he got done with cause it started out fine. Then it got a little overpowering. And so about halfway through, I was like, Zane, take it. Cause it was just like too much for me.
Mine was done. And then so we thought it was going to be wicked cold. Like, gloves, beanies,
coats.
What are the long johns underneath the pants? I was good with my hood up sometimes down. Didn't need the gloves. They stayed in my pocket because I was with Kalia pretty much the whole time.
Yeah, you were trying to keep her distracted and happy.
I was trying to be an 11-year-old as a 43-year-old. And so we were taking pictures on all of the fun stuff and we were making colors and we were just skipping and singing Christmas songs and it was just, I had fun.
Yeah, you made it magical for her.
I was trying my damnedest because right when we started walking, just tears were down her face. And I'm like, I am so sorry. Our friends are not here, but I'm going to try my damnedest to be a kid with you.
Yeah.
And I believe I did that.
I think she had a good time.
I think so too. She said when I hugged her today, she did. So, I mean, we were just kind of running amok and just having a good time and take pictures, Grandpa, take pictures, Grandpa. So, it was, we did miss the Elans, but your friends got to go with us. One that I've heard of about so many times but never met. And then he brought a good group of people with him. So I didn't really get to talk to any of them because I was off running with Kalia. We were always like the head of the pack. And then we kept trying to find hot cocoa for her. Because the second place we went to, it was just like food. And I'm like, nah. She's like, no hot cocoa, Auntie Jay. I'm like, there's always hot cocoa, Kalia. Just calm down. So the next place we went to, Cool Castle Lights, which was really cool that you walk through to get in line. And
a cool tunnel to
there
walk through.
was a cocoa. And I'm like, you want marshmallows? And she was like, can I? And I'm like, we're 11. So yeah. And then I was like, I want a cocoa with, marshmallows and a cocoa with Bailey's Irish cream. And Kalia looks at me. She's like, you're 11. And I'm like, I'm 43. So I'm old enough to drink this, but yes, I'm 11. And
I feel bad because I knocked her hand and maybe spill a little bit of it. So.
I mean, it was okay. I mean,
still,
you can.
It wasn't that much, but yeah,
and you can make it up to me. But so, so just she was like, got my cocoa, and then and I would let her pick whatever route we would take, and I had a great time.
Yeah, it was a good time. I was sad we couldn't do it with Elans again, but
I do miss them, but I think they're having a great time in Cali. Yeah. You know, they're doing really good. Ava's playing basketball, doing really well. Yeah. Isaac just turned 2.
Is it just
3?
2? Okay.
The other day, I can't remember because bad memory. But I see pictures on Facebook and I think they had a really, really good time. But yeah, so.
I'll have to see if we can get him on the podcast again remotely.
Oh, that'd be fun. And maybe we can get Jason on.
Yeah.
And do Crystal and Jason.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Because, you know, or just Crystal. You know, whatever. But yeah, so that was our week.
That was our week.
I know that was a lot longer talking than we normally do, but it was a lot, and I just forgot that we had done that, and I think we talk about it every year. So
yeah. Hey, this is our podcast.
That's right. We can do what we want to do.
All right, Miss Jeffrey, let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back. Okay.
Sir.
And we're back. All right. Since I've got the bottle, you want to ask me?
Oh, yeah. Yes, sir. All right. Mr. Jason, what are we drinking today?
Well, we tried a $3 bottle of wine from Walmart from the Oak Leaf Vineyards. It was a Merlot last time we drank it, and it was surprisingly really good.
Yep.
And so Zane and I were walking around Walmart on Friday, and I was like, oh, they have a Cabernet, so let's try it. So I grabbed us a $3 bottle of Oak Leaf Vineyards Cabernet Sauvignon.
Yeah, and it's really good too.
Yeah, it's I feel like it's a little drier, more tannicky than the Merlot is.
Yeah.
And I think I prefer the Merlot to it.
I think so too, just because I think a Merlot has a little bit more rich flavor. Couldn't tell you what makes it rich, but that's the word that kind of came out.
It's kind of a silky mouthfeel almost. Like this one's a little on the dry side.
Right.
But it's still good.
For $3, it is great.
Yeah. I mean, I am not complaining at all.
$3 and you will, know that we will finish this bottle and none will go down the drain.
This is very true.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see what is the, let's see what made my old man glasses.
Well, it's really hard to read these bottles. They're
especially
green,
in this light.
They're purple writing. I think mine yesterday had like black writing on it. Yours is white writing, but.
Well, yeah, that was a different winery, but.
Right, but, they just tend to not make it easy for us to read.
Yeah, I've gotten to the point now where, well, me and Zane both, or if we're in a kind of a restaurant and it's dark, we have to turn our flashlights on our phone so we can fucking read the receipts.
We're old.
Yep.
Yeah, we're those.
All right, so the bottle says it's a medium-bodied and smooth with vibrant notes of blackberry fruit and a hint of toasted oak.
What is toasted oak?
I don't know. Toast. It says toasted. I said toasty oak, not toasted. I don't know.
Chestnuts roasting.
I don't know. It's good. I like it.
Yep. Hey, Benjamin might like that because he really likes oaky stuff.
But it doesn't have that like buttery ass flavor shit that the
Or maybe he doesn't like oaky stuff. It's one or the other. I can't remember.
Yeah. Zane. Oh, do we need a top off too, Jennifer?
Well, I think Zane might get the rest of it.
No, I'll say so for you.
Okay.
Zane was like wagging his wine glass at me. I'm like, here, let me pass it along.
Yeah, Zane has decided to join us.
All right, Miss Jennifer, we got our
best.
We got our wine, so let's get into our Reddit post, shall we?
All right. So this is the Paratine subreddit. Tron Racer? Is that what that says? I think that's what it says.
Yeah, Tron Racer.
Tron Racer. Okay.
That's the user.
Yeah, I didn't get to that point yet. I was just trying to read his name. All right. So the questions is, I don't know if that's a question, but teach your kids that certain things are only for boys and other things only for girls. Fuck that. Right now. Just, nope. That is not true at all. In my opinion, no. But anyways, let me read the story but I'm already stating my opinion. My next door neighbor has a boy, Mike, 7 male, which cause you just said he has a boy. No, anyways. And we have a girl, Jen, 7, female. Mike has always liked to put on dresses. Good for you. That's not the story, sorry. The neighbors hate this.
I bet they do.
And fuck those neighbors. Whenever Mike would come over to play, he would immediately ask to try on one of Jen's princess dresses. We don't have a problem with that. Thank you. But would redirect because we know the neighbors would not approve. If it stays in your house, just leave it. Let them have. Never mind. They are truly they're fairly traditional. Husband works and wife is a homemaker. It seems like they are very aware of this tendency and are actively working to stop it. Don't. I don't like that. That's fine. Nope. And it's their kid and their responsibility to raise them. But when it spills over, it's annoying. For example, Jen has this little necklace/bracelet making kit of small colored rubber bands. That sounds familiar? Mm-hmm. The other day, Jen made a necklace for Mike, who loved it and immediately put it on. It was a little tight, so it looked like a blue choker. The parents were annoyed about this and commented that it was a quote-unquote girl necklace. Fuck y'all. They made a big deal about having Mike return the necklace. Jen didn't understand. She kept saying, no, it's okay. I made it for him. The mom said no 2 or 3 times in a stern tone. Thank you, but no thank you. Am I wrong to be annoyed here? No, you're not.
No.
I mean, it was a harmless gift from one child to another. They could have just taken it and thrown it away later, but they should or shouldn't. This is not the first time this has happened. I don't remember what the last thing was, but we're raising our kid to separate boy things versus girl things. Our daughter likes Barbies and makeup, but also likes quads and video games.
Quads?
What's a quad? I don't know. I guess technically quote unquote boy thing. For now, we have instructed our kid not to give anything to Mike, but sad that we have to do that.
No.
Edit, because people are confusing my position. I never allowed Mike to put a princess dress on in my home. My issue is not with how neighbors parent their kid. My issue is with the neighbor refusing a gift as innocuous as a rubber band necklace to a 7-year-old instead of addressing the issue directly with me or my wife. Well, I really don't like the edit. You should have let the baby wear the fucking princess dress. Let them have fucking tea together. It doesn't matter. They're 7.
I don't disagree.
Let them be them. And if they can't be them at their parents', be the cool parent and understanding parent and just let them do it there. And just tell Mike, hey, don't tell your parents that we let you do this. It's ridiculous. There is no such thing as girl and boy.
Yeah, I completely agree with you.
I might have just been around way too many gays in my life. And I'm also the kid that would not play with Barbies. I play with G.I. Joes. I threw Barbies off of rooftops. Yeah. I liked trucks and cars and matchboxes. And when I was grounded and had nothing to do, I would lay underneath my table. I had like this little table and I would pretend to be a car mechanic or be in a rocket or like anything quote unquote that's not girly.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. They're probably trying their hardest to make sure he doesn't turn out gay, but that doesn't stop you.
You do not turn gay. You are born that way.
I know. And I feel bad because it's just like this kid's going to grow up with a lot of shame.
He's going to have therapy.
Yeah. I was like frankly, if you just allowed him to be the little fairy he wants to be, if he is that way,
right.
If he is that way, he will grow up a lot better adjusted because the more shame you build into it, the more he's going to, either rebel or harm himself to make you happy.
Right. Or be, like in this newest season of RuPaul's Drag Race, the kid would pretend to be one thing at home, have all his drag stuff in the trunk so that the parents wouldn't know, go do drag, and then make sure to wash everything off and then go home. Yep. They should not have to have a fucking secret life.
Yeah. And there's no shame in it.
No.
It's like...
What does it hurt?
Yeah. I mean, like... Harming someone, that's shameful.
Yes.
Especially if it's on purpose.
Yes.
Stealing from someone, shameful.
Yes.
I'm trying to think of other shameful things, but like those are the things you'd be ashamed of.
Touching inappropriately.
Yeah.
Shameful. Well, I mean, kids play doctor, but I mean like maybe a parent touching a kid.
Yeah.
Shameful.
Harming someone without their consent is shameful.
Yeah.
Them pretending to be a different gender or liking things that are coded in our society as a different gender is not shameful.
Right.
And
he could be a boy that just likes to wear dresses. He could be straight.
Yeah.
And just
like pretty stuff.
Like girly stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I don't even want to call it girly stuff. Stuff that a lot of girls
coded girl.
like.
Yeah, coded girly.
Yeah. I'm sorry for interjecting so much in that story, but it pisses me off. Like, let me adopt Mike. I'll trade you. You get Wesley, cause he's a boy. You give me Mike, and Mike will grow up to be a loving, or in a loving house. Let him do what he wants to do and be a productive member of society.
I agree.
Oh,
I saw this. I was like, I know how Jennifer and I would feel about it, but I just wanted to, I thought it'd be fun to talk about.
Right. Yeah. And as most people know who listen, if this is your first time listening to our Reddits, I don't ever read it before Jason gives it to me. So this is true reactions from me, because I like to be, well, sometimes surprised. Sometimes it just pisses me off, but it would piss me off both times reading it, so might as well just get pissed off one time. But it's
the thing I have the hard part is I don't know what you call them, like the strict parents. The fact that they made a big deal of returning it.
Yeah.
I was like, if Kalia was friends with someone in the neighborhood and their kids were doing something that I felt inappropriate, I'd be like, okay, we're not going to hang out, but we're not going to make a big fucking production about this.
Or you don't talk to the kids about it. The kids should be completely out of it.
Yeah.
You, like she said, throw it away.
Yeah.
Or go to the parents and be like, hey, can we not have Jen make him stuff? We would appreciate that. Yeah. Especially since I want to say, the way that I read that, the writer also doesn't feel comfortable with it. It was more about the way that the parents reacted. Yeah. And so they both need to get their heads out of their asses and just let kids be fucking kids.
Yeah. The
exclamation point.
The drama of it all.
And 7, fuck.
Yeah.
I mean, I've known, like, I've talked to gay people and I'm like, when did you know? Some know at fucking 3 years old that they're gay, and they remember that they knew that they liked boys, or they, were kind of leaning towards that, or that they would be what quote unquote sissies. Mm-hmm. And I don't like that word at all. But it's like, you have to let your kid explore to know who they really are. I don't know if you really know who you are at 7 years old.
Probably not.
Some probably do. Some probably don't. I knew I liked boy things, quote unquote. But I also knew that I liked boys. Mm-hmm. And it never wavered from that. But no one turned me straight. That's just the way I was born. And that's how I feel about being gay. So you were born that way. I'm quoting Lady Gaga so much. But me playing with boy stuff didn't make me a lesbian. Yeah. Or a transgendered man.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I'm a man. I just liked playing with them. Fuck the Barbies.
All it teaches your kids is that your love is conditional.
Right. And that is not the way it should be.
Agreed. Very much agreed.
Oh, okay. So you do yours, because now I just need to drink some wine and eat my stuff and not think about it.
You got it. All right. So this is from the parenting subreddit. The user is Klutzy Pryor. It was posted about 4 months ago. The title of the post is "I Ruined My Daughter's Life." And this is apparently a teenager between 13 and 19 years of age.
Me too.
So the post says, so long story short, my 16-year-old is 16. This morning we had the following conversation. Me: good morning, love. How are you? How did you sleep? Teenager, rolling her eyes, emoji. So parents with teenagers know this is a normal conversation. 20 minutes later, the incident happens. Teenager: hey, a bunch of us, well, it says a bunch of, want to see a movie this afternoon. So I'm assuming it's a bunch of us. A bunch of us want to see a movie this afternoon, and I'll need money. Me: okay, cool. Who's going? What time is the movie? Is everyone meeting there, or is one of the parents picking everyone up? Teen: why do you need to know? Me: because it's kind of important information. Teen: oh my God, you are so nosy. You're just ruining my life. Forget it. So fellow teen parents, has anyone else ruined their child's life by asking basic questions? Breathing, existing. This is my last teenager. I know it gets better. P.S. There was a plan to go to the movies. The parents have group chat, and yeah, they're probably still going because honestly, 2 hours without eye rolling and snark sounds lovely. I got tickled with this one because I was like, oh, I can see Kalia doing this shit when she gets older.
I ruin Wesley's life.
Oh, every day.
I am so extra. I just need to leave him alone and let him live his life the way he wants to. I'm
mean.
All the time. You're so extra. So extra.
Yeah.
I hide from my son, so 2 hours away. Okay. But I would have told her, look, you didn't answer my fucking questions. But guess what? The parents did.
Yep.
It's the only reason why you're going. I don't know if I would say in their situation, I want to get rid of you too. 2 hours, bye. I would probably say that to Wesley right now just because of all the shit that we're going through. But
the fact that the kid's like, I'll need money, and it's like that right there would have been like, okay, this is the cost.
Yep.
Me knowing what the fuck's going on.
Or, hey, did you do what I asked you to do earlier?
Mm-hmm.
Did you listen to me and clean your room?
Little shit.
Did you? Yes? Okay. I'll give you money. I still need to know my fucking questions.
Yeah. Oh, teenagers are the best.
And what's so funny is like, hey, parent, I'm going to go out. Where are you going? Who are you going with? I'm not going to answer you. You don't answer me when I ask you questions. And you're the fucking child. I'm the parent. So
I was about to say, are you paying for my night out?
Exactly.
Then fuck off.
Did you give me money? Did you do what you're supposed to do? No. Because you know they do that.
Oh, God, yeah.
So fucking nosy. But then when you try to actually get information that you fucking need so that you know your child's fucking safe, you don't need to know that.
I will say though, I was thinking back to our childhood. If I just disappeared and, if I was like, I'm going to go hang out with some friends, and my parents wouldn't have said anything. I think same with yours too, probably, right? Unless you asked for money.
Well, that was where I was going to go with it. Asking for money.
Yeah.
But I also built really good trust with my mom.
Yeah.
16, I was living with her. I already had a job for 2 years. She trusted me enough to have her car the majority of the time. The only thing she ever asked of me when I had said car was if I paid you, cause I'm fucking old and I had a pager, you call me back. You find a payphone or a house phone and you call me back, in a
reasonable amount.
Right. So that way if we are, running around, I can find a payphone. And whatever I ask of you, you do.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. I put gas in the car whenever I drove. I did anything she asked me to do, which majority of the time was go to Winn-Dixie and get milk and bread or whatever the fuck she needed because I lived at Winn-Dixie. The people knew me very, very well there.
Did you work there?
No. I just went a lot because my best friend's house that I used to just go hang out at was like half a mile, like 5 houses from Winn-Dixie.
Where was this?
So you know where China Taste is?
So China Taste in Huntsville is at Bob Wallace and
Triana?
Triana.
Yep. So Bob Wallace,
mm-hmm.
when Dixie was in the shopping center, it was the very last.
Oh, is it where the Dollar General is now, I think?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And my friends lived on the ABC streets.
Okay.
In either duplexes or really big houses that they used to be duplexes and they've renovated.
I think that's the Merrimack neighborhood.
Theater.
Well, where the theater is, yeah. But we called them the ABC streets because it's,
Yeah, it goes descending.
It goes all the way up to A to whatever. Yeah. And, so I was always right there and there was a payphone on the corner of one of the side streets in Bob Wallace between Winn-Dixie and my friend's house. So my friend didn't have a house phone. I'd drive there and then, go to, I had poor friends.
No, yeah, I was giving Jennifer a look. I'm like, how do you know? I was like, okay, let me show off my privilege here.
Yeah, poor friends. And she also had 4 kids by herself.
Yeah, okay,
So,
that's reasonable and makes sense. Yeah.
So I always had change in my little change thing until that person broke into my car. But anyways.
We had change in our cars until we had a son, and then he stole it all.
See? So, so I would always, and I was probably one of the better responsible teenagers that most teenagers are, since I started working at 14.
Yeah.
And then my mom asked for rent. I don't know if she needed it or if she was just trying to teach me that you live somewhere, you pay rent.
Yeah.
Never utilities or anything like that. And then when she bought me my pager for Christmas, oh yay, I get a pager for Christmas. I had to pay the pager bill. So she was teaching me responsibility. And that is why I had a credit score at one time of almost 850. Because I knew how to pay bills on time. She told me when I went and got my first apartment that if you don't pay your utility bill on the date that it says, you get turned off the next day.
Not quite.
That's not true, guys. I learned that as an adult when I started looking at the bill and it says, this is your due date and this is your late fee after the due date. And I'm like, Mama, why did you tell me that? And she's like, so you pay your bill on time? You don't want late fees. You don't want this stuff to go after you.
You know, the sad thing is, as an adult, I actually had my power turned off because I forgot to pay the bill. And that was it was the first time it ever happened. Because I've been paying my bills, you know, I've been living independently since I was in my 20s. But when I first moved to Huntsville and I bought that house, my first house, I came home, I was like, why don't I have any power? And then I saw the notice. I'm like, son of a bitch. I was like, how did I forget to pay the utilities?
This year, I think because of all the shit I've gone through, I've had 2 late fees. And I've never had a late fee as long as I've been living on my own. So the first late fee, I was like, hey, can I get this waived from the supervisor? And the second one I couldn't. So that shit's on auto pay now. So fuck that. I'm not ever gonna be late. And it's not even that you get you get some points taken, whatever, but it's not a huge thing to have a late fee. But to me, how I grew up, yes, it's a big, but yeah, I mean, you being a teenage mother, I'm sorry. I don't think you ruined your daughter's life.
I think it was sarcasm, but
I'm just like, you know, reading back and I'm just like, you know, you're doing what you can. Mm-hmm. We all might think this decision that we make is the best and then look back and be like, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Like, we all have that.
Yeah.
That is the reason why we have this fucking podcast. We're not really giving bad parenting advice. We're just kind of saying, hey, we might have fucked up on this decision, but then we own it.
Yeah.
And we apologize to the kids when we do think we fucked up.
Yeah.
I mean, I know we both have went back to them and be like, hey, yeah, maybe I shouldn't have said that. Or maybe I shouldn't have not allowed that.
Yeah.
And that's just parenting. You're fucking learning as they're learning.
Yeah. You gotta be,
that's all it is.
Gotta be gentle on yourself. As much as you gotta be gentle to them, you gotta be gentle to yourself too.
That's right. But it's hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
We good for another one?
Yeah. Okay. It's your turn.
All right. So the parenting subreddit, Shine Immediate 7081.
That's the user.
That's you don't let me say that.
Sorry.
I have to try to read it first because I got to zoom in to be able to get to it.
Your old woman eyes.
I'm going to start having to bring my readers in. Okay. Oh, well, this is kind of close to home.
This is why I picked it, because it was so close to something you've had to deal with.
So, question is, appropriate punishment for teen sneaking out. Last night around 2:30, I was woken up by my 16-year-old daughter calling me, telling me she was in a nearby neighborhood and had been pulled over for a broken taillight.
Uh-oh.
I was confused as I had put her to bed and gone to sleep around 11 p.m. The officer sent her home, and when she got home, she told us she had snuck out to meet with a boy. Second time she's lied to us regarding this kid, by the way. She said she wanted to hang out, but I knew we wouldn't let her go out so late. We took her car keys and told her we'd discuss her punishment in the morning. Obviously, she'll be grounded, and this is me, until she moves out of my fucking house. But no, in the story, it's obviously she'll be grounded from the car for a while. Quote unquote, not quote unquote, but parentheses, she has her own car. But for how long? I'm thinking once she earns it back, we'll keep the keys and she'll need to ask for them. Maybe a couple months, question mark. I was so mad last night, I was ready to lock her up forever. But I recall sneaking out as a teen and I'm trying to be reasonable. This age sucks.
Yeah.
So 16, second time sneaking out. I don't know if you guys bought her the car. That's why she owns her own car. Well, I don't know if, trying to think about that. Like,
I don't think you're allowed to,
Can you buy your own car at 16?
Well, even if you do, you can't sign a contract, so it's not legally enforceable contract.
Right.
So I don't know. They obviously have some rights over the car to take it away from her.
Definitely.
Yeah.
From my understanding, from what people have told me over the time, is that any child that lives under you that is under the age of 18 and I think 19 in Alabama, all their stuff is your stuff.
Yeah.
They do not own shit.
Yeah.
Because they are children.
Yeah, I had to have that conversation once with my little brothers because they were like, but anyway, yes.
Yeah, I've had that conversation many times. Wesley just goes in one ear and out the other. But anyways, so this is your fucking car.
Yeah.
For the lady, for the mom. I don't know what inappropriate punishment is. I don't know if she's like a good kid and she's just done this to hang out with a boy. Well, then you know what? Hang out with the boy during daytime hours. Like if you have a curfew, hang out with him then. Why are you hanging out with him at 2:30 in the morning?
Because she wanted to, Mom.
Well, I understand that, but if you're gonna go, have sex in your car, you can do that at 8 o'clock at night and your curfew's 10 or whatever. You don't have to wait till 2:30.
Don't wake my ass up anyway.
I'm fucking old, so you say you're out at 2:30, damn.
So, but if Wesley wasn't a little shit that he is, and he did this, for the first time,
16.
And let's say this is the second time he'd ever done it, what would your response be?
Well, he would not own his own car.
Yeah.
Just because he has shown me now he is not responsible enough.
But like I said, let's pretend it's never happened.
Can't because he's done so much. If I had this child and I'd say she was a responsible 16-year-old, gets good grades. First off, I would tell her this is not your car.
Yeah.
I would take the keys.
I think they did that.
Would be in my room.
Yep.
If you need to go somewhere, you will tell me where you're going because again, you're a child. Mm-hmm. If you're not back by a certain time, I know Huntsville has a curfew for children under the age of 19. If you break that said curfew, I'll call the cops.
Ooh.
And give them your license plate.
Ooh.
This is the second time she's done it.
Yeah.
This is 2:30 in the morning. I don't know if this is a Saturday or a Sunday. What if you gotta go to school the next day?
Yeah.
It's a lot. If you want to see this dude right now, way the world works, FaceTime, phone calls, text messages. Again, meeting them before 2:30 in the fucking morning. Sneaking out to go meet them. Bring them over for dinner.
Yeah. Oh God, that would be mortifying.
Go hang out in your room with the fucking door open. No. I'm it might just be me. I might be that parent, but your keys are not your keys. They're my keys.
I don't for me, I don't think I would have a problem with her hanging out with a boy. It's the sneaking out and the taking the car when she shouldn't have been doing that. That's where I've had the problem. Right. I think if this were Kalia, and I could see this happening, when she's a 16-year-old, but I could see she'd lose car privileges for a while. And I'd be like, okay, if I didn't know said boy or said partner or whatever, I'd be like, we're going to get to know him.
Yeah.
And I'm going to call parents and we're going to have a little conference, head to head about this.
Do you know your boy is out at 2:30 in the morning with this girl?
Yeah.
Or I guess my child.
And I would also be like, we're going to go to the gynecologist and we're going to make sure you're on birth control if she's not already.
And you're going to get STD tested.
Yeah. But as far as like this, the sex thing, I'd be fine if they're fucking at home, I'm cool with that. As long as she's protected and not getting pregnant.
Right. Well, and also protected in all the other ways, because condoms don't protect from everything.
I agree. But I just meant, I want to be cognizant of what's going on, and I want her to be
right.
making better choices than sneaking out.
Yeah. Because we don't really know that she snuck out to have sex. But I mean, why the hell else are you sneaking out at 2:30 in the morning? That's just my thought on that. But also, Kalia has pretty much had the sex talk, kind of.
We've been very open and honest about sex. Yeah.
It's like, easy stuff, like, or not like, the, hardcore stuff.
Yeah, I haven't gotten graphic.
It's just, if you have this, don't let it be unprotected, because the boys don't have no responsibility in essence, especially with girls. You're the one that's stuck with this if this happens. If you are, let's get you on birth control.
Yeah.
Let's show you the best ways to choose your partners. Let him go get tested. Let you go get tested and make sure that everybody's okay.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what he's doing on the side.
Yeah.
It's a lot. And 16, I think I've had this conversation with Wesley at 13 because he's been girl crazy since I adopted him at 8 years old. Like the first time he ever called me mom was to say, "Hey mom." Yeah, he called me mom. I have a girlfriend. Fuck. Like it was so many different emotions at one time, and he's been girl crazy the whole time. So I've been very open and like, dude, you can get diseases that like
make your penis fall off.
Or don't work right, or, something that you have forever and you have to tell every single partner, hey, I have this. And then you're going to lose a lot of partners because they're like, well, fuck, I don't want to take that chance.
Well, he also wouldn't tell people.
He wouldn't tell him.
Well, but
I know. You're trying to instill.
We're all in a world where my son is not like a liar and a thief and, would not, share that information. But I mean, like, hell, just kissing, you have to be careful. Herpes.
Yeah. True.
Of the mouth.
Or mono. Apparently, Zach's been giving me mono for years.
But mono, and that's the kissing thing. And so, you really have to talk to your kids about this stuff.
Yeah, I agree.
But your punishment is whatever you decide the punishment is going to be. No matter what parent tells you, you know your child. You know what works best. But in my opinion, you take them keys and you keep them.
Yeah.
My keys are in my pocket already in my room, ready for me with a closed door. Because I will never have anything out that my son can take.
Yeah.
Because he will not own a car from me. I will not be teaching him how to drive.
Oh, God, no.
He is just too mature. He's already talking about, why didn't you just run that red light? No one was here. No one was looking and all this stuff. And I'm like, dude, you're never driving my car.
Yeah.
He's still not in the fucking front seat and he's 13.
Well, it's because he annoys the shit out of you too.
And I feel like he would distract me when you're not supposed to be distracted, because I think he would try to play with the radio or the heater or like try to touch me.
Yeah.
And you don't need that, because I already have him doing way too much stuff in the back seat, noise wise, or grabbing the chair and shaking it or putting it back, or, and with my ADHD, I don't like noises. I don't like that. And he knows buttons to push. So anyways,
I mean, to me, it sounds this parent knows what they're doing.
Yes.
I think they probably just want a little validation.
Yeah. And when the bottom, when she's like, this age sucks. And I was like, teenage age just sucks so far for me at 13. So, you have a few years and she's gone. So hopefully you can get through it.
I mean, I hate to say it, like, I've done stuff like this and, I deserved whatever punishment I got. So, but yeah, it sucks.
But sometimes you didn't get caught.
Yeah. Well, and my parents were also like, I didn't do it a ton, and I didn't, like, when I did it, I didn't, harm anything or make the situation worse. I just didn't ask permission a lot of times.
Yeah.
So my parents were pretty loosey-goosey.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I could totally see Clea doing this. But we'd have some conversations about, like, you know, please don't do that, and don't, like, put yourself at risk for things, because you don't know what this boy's going to do to you. So, yeah.
No, I'm kind of confused, because, why did the daughter call her?
Because she got
is it because the police officer was there?
Yeah, probably because they got, I'm guessing what happened is that she got pulled over, and the cop was running licenses and shit, and she freaked out and called her parents.
Okay.
That's what I'm guessing.
Because I got pulled over once for no lights.
When Zane and I first met, I got pulled over for an out headlight, and that was our first date.
No, I had no lights on whatsoever.
Oh, yeah.
And I was driving but so, you know, like when you're on like main streets, you have so many streetlights that you don't realize. And I had just turned into a side street near the Winn-Dixie, and, I've never been pulled over before. At that point, I'm probably 16, and, I get out of the truck, and then I hear over the bullhorn thing from the police car, "Get back in the vehicle." And I'm like, fuck, I didn't know. I'm so sorry. You know, and then she comes over, and it was I want to say it was a younger black cop. Mm-hmm. And she was like, "Did you know you don't have your headlights on?" And I'm like, "I don't? I am so sorry. No, I did not know that." And she was like, "Well, turn them on." And I was like, "Okay." And I turned them on. I was like, "Well, that makes a difference in this street, doesn't it?" And she just started laughing, and she was like, "Try to always make sure that your lights are on." And I'm like, "Yes, ma'am, I promise. I will always try."
Oh, Miss Jennifer is a rule follower, so I know that.
Oh my God. And then in my little Mitsubishi that I have, which I fucking love, her name is Shotzi, automatic fucking lights, so I ain't gotta worry about shit. The only time I worry about it is if it's raining and it's light out, I turn my fucking headlights on, because I don't want to be that person.
Even when I had manual lights, I would turn them on, even in the middle of the day, just so I would remember.
Gotcha.
But
all right. Sorry.
No problem. All right. So last one is from me. It's from the adoption subreddit, from Professional31235.
Okay.
And the title is Struggling with Ethics. So it says, after visiting a couple subreddits about adoption, I'm struggling with whether or not it's ethical. A little background. My husband and I are looking to adopt an older child from foster care who has already had a TPR, which stands for termination of parental rights.
Right. Which is what Wesley had, because I wasn't trying to fight no
biological parents.
Mama.
Yeah, and same with us.
Yeah.
So that's what Zane and I had. The person says, we are both black and would like to adopt a black child. Believe it or not, black people do have a culture in the U.S., and it's important that kids are taught about.
They're taught about it. They just...
No, I got what she was saying. I'm just like shocked. It's like, do white people not realize that black people have a culture?
Probably a lot.
Yeah, I guess the rich white suburban people.
The red states, right?
Yeah.
Probably don't.
Well, yeah, the people that exist in their own little bubbles probably don't realize it.
All those white people, yeah. That don't have they have that one black friend.
Yep.
Those don't know that black people have their own culture.
Okay, but it says, but as we get things rolling with agencies, I'm becoming more aware of just how negative and icky adoption can be. The alternative is, of course, aging out of the system, but is that really so bad? Who am I to decide that adoption is the best choice for a kid? And for a kid, adoption day must feel like a damn funeral. Is that something I should be willing to support? Adoption is icky. Especially if you're adopting out of foster care.
Yes.
If you're doing a TPR, it feels like you were shopping for a child.
Yes. It is the worst feeling in the world.
Yeah.
And it is hard. It's like a catalog of kids, and you pick on one, and then there's a bio that's usually not true, because we learned that from Justin. Mm-hmm. And Wesley's wasn't true either.
Or it's so vague that it's like, oh, they like puppies. And,
right. And the kid doesn't, and they most of the time don't even diagnose the kids with what they have. I'm speaking of my kid, because the foster parents don't care enough to try.
Yeah.
And so it is very, very icky. I felt very,
misled?
well, on that part, on the, like the diagnosis part, yes, definitely. Cause every kid, apparently that we've, in our support group have talked about, they all have ADHD, they all have ODD, and they all have other different type, some just have those two, some have all kinds of other things.
Yeah.
The fetal alcohol syndrome, some weren't diagnosed. Some it's hard to diagnose.
For our listeners, if you're new, ODD stands for oppositional defiant disorder.
Sorry.
No, I just wanted to spell. I just want to spell it
out. Which, in my opinion, every kid has ODD, oppositional defiant disorder, of course. But the ones that are in foster care, some of them are severe.
Yeah.
Where it is, you say yes, they hear no.
Yeah. And they become violent over it.
Right. So there is a huge difference between that. But I do believe in just biological kids, yes.
Yeah.
Because no kids really want to do what their parents say.
Yeah.
But it is icky, yes.
But I would say, like, the system definitely needs to be improved. Mm-hmm. But by you not participating in it, it doesn't make it any better. Nope. Like, it's like, if you choose not to engage with the system, it's not like you've somehow made it better.
Right. And then one of the questions was, who am I decide that adoption is the best choice for a kid?
Well, if you're adopting an older kid, they have a choice. They get to say whether they want to be adopted.
Well, any kid.
No.
Like my 8-year-old had a choice. He could decide if he wanted 2 parents, if he wanted a black parent, if he wanted a mom and a dad, if he did not want 2 dads. Like, they all have a choice. They can say yes or no.
Yeah, I think if they're 13, it's like that's when their opinion holds legal weight. I think before that it doesn't.
But, I mean, they told me that they asked him if it was okay to be raised by a single white mom. Mm. So they had asked him.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know legally, like if I would have been like, well, I don't care if he doesn't. Because who would do that?
Yeah.
Because at that point, but like, I really... I mean, I don't want someone that just said, I don't want to be raised by a white mama and I'm black, because there's a lot of hardship in schools and stuff. Mm-hmm. So, question, the alternative is, of course, aging out of the system, but is it that really so bad? Yes.
Depending on the state you're in.
Well, and pretty much, I would just say yes in general.
Yeah. Because
they have no family.
Yeah. And they will have no security afterwards.
They have no Thanksgivings to go to. Mm-hmm. They have no Christmases to go to. They have nobody to celebrate their birthday. Yeah. Like, they have no family. Yes, aging out is bad.
Yeah.
Who am I to decide that adoption is the best choice for a kid? I mean, you are who you are.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you find a kid and you like them and you want to adopt them, they want a family.
I agree.
Deep, deep down, they want a family. It is fucking hard because of all of the trauma. It's not like you just gave birth to this child and, everything is going to be, leave it to Beaver happiness.
Oh,
but
Jesus, and it won't be.
It is very, very hard. But if you put in the work and the love and get their trust, because you're going to have to fight. Mm-hmm. Because these kids don't trust nobody.
Yeah.
You have to know that they've lost their entire family at one time.
Yep.
It's like all of their family died in a fucking plane crash. They have no more grandma, grandpa, mom, dad, sister, brother. They have nobody.
Or it's even worse. They have a fucked up parental unit that's still sticking around and making their lives living hell, and they can't handle it.
Right. Well, they say TPR, so
but that still happens.
Well, that's true.
Or they're the parent is on drugs or sexual.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then.
But yeah, and if you're trying to adopt an older kid, it's like I said, it's not your choice. It's up to the kid if they get adopted. And I don't know that it feels like a funeral for the kids. It's hard for them. I'm sure it is hard because it's crushing.
I feel like when you take the fucking kids away from the family, that's the funeral.
Yeah.
Their bios.
And I'm sure it hurts to know that okay, this is becoming permanent. I'm never going back to, that kind of ceremony.
Yeah.
And we didn't even do that for Justin. I was like, do you want to do a ceremony and go in front of the judge? He's like, no. So, you don't have to make it a production.
No, and especially if they're an older child. Wesley wanted to go. He got to bang the gavel. Like, he was wicked excited, got to meet the judge. He wanted to be adopted. He fought, of course, before the adoption because he had already been told once he was going to be adopted, and then they were like, nope, and then just dropped his ass off at DHR with no explanation to a young 6-year-old at the time. I don't remember how old he was. But there's so much non-trust. And you have to build that trust. So you can't go in expecting them to call you mom and dad and love you forever and be good. They're going to push to see how much they can do and get away with.
To prove to themselves. Or to get you to be like, well, fuck you, and I'm sending you back. Because that's already what they think in their mind as soon as they go into your house. Yeah.
Because they've been through so much.
Yeah, they've been betrayed before.
Right.
Yeah.
So, the last question was, is that something I should be willing to support? It's up to you.
Yeah. I would say if you're thinking about it, like Jennifer did this before she adopted. She came to the support group that me and Zane were going to, that she's a part of now with Wesley. And it I think it helped a little bit. It didn't prepare her fully because a lot of the problems didn't develop till later on.
Yeah.
But like, don't go into this with rose-colored glasses.
No, definitely not.
If you're going to adopt an older kid, you're going to be dealing with trauma.
Right. Well, I mean, even the ones that are in the support group that got them 2 days after they were born, they still have problems.
Yeah.
Because they went 9 months in their mother's womb, 9-ish months, sorry. They heard their mom. They heard the people around them. You come out knowing who your mama is.
Yep.
Or whoever around you is, because you heard that. Yep. As a baby in the womb. And I mean, I believe that seriously because of all the stories we hear about, oh, we got them right from the hospital, but you're not their mom at that time still, technically, you know.
Not the biological.
They didn't hear you. And then they grow up and they have problems. So like as soon as you get them fucking therapy. Yeah. But no, there's still going to be trauma whether you get them at 17 or get them at 1 day old.
Yeah.
Because they know something's different.
I will say though, if you got an older kid like they were talking about, the trauma will be there though.
Oh, definitely.
Built in.
Yes.
So like, I don't know, like don't feel like you're doing a disservice to the kid, but you better have a great support system in place. You better have, some good therapist lined up for yourself and for the kid. And yeah, it's a long, hard road. And it's not always joyful. Like, you know, we have several people from the support group who, have just had god awful times with their kids. We have some people who have kinship care and, you know, they're raising their great grandchild and getting like physically abused by their 10-year-old. Right. So it's, you know,
I mean, and that happens in biological families too. They didn't really say, they didn't really say what they just wanted a black kid.
No, it says a little background. My husband and I are looking to adopt an older child from foster care.
Okay. I didn't catch that part. Sorry.
So who already has TPR. Because if you've gone through TPR, you're not getting a baby.
Well, you can.
Unless they're like severely disabled, you ain't getting a young,
it's usually if the parent already has multiple kids already in DHR and they take them away.
Yeah, but like the babies, they get picked up by their foster parents, usually.
But if the parents already have like a whole bunch of kids out of the system, TPR, can they not just TPR in the hospital?
They might, but
especially
they would go to
like drugs and stuff?
No, it's never just immediate.
Oh.
It's always like a minimum a year.
Oh, I thought it was. Okay.
They may not ever go into custody for the parents, but the TPR is not.
I got you. They gotta fight for it.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
So it's
a battle.
It's a battle and like.
But I mean, being a parent to, I'm sure, a biological kid, which we don't really know anything about, but we've heard stories from our friends.
Yeah.
That have biological kids, and there is always something that comes up. But just put yourself in these kids' shoes. Mm-hmm. If you had no family and you were 18 and you just got kicked out, like, okay, you're 18, you're aged out of the system, bye.
Yeah, you got nothing.
Who do you have?
Yeah.
There's no support system.
And once they're out of the system, you have no way of like helping them.
Right.
Like, Justin was a few months, well, he was probably like 14 months from age out of the system. Like, once he's out of the system, how would I have been able to contact him or help him?
Right.
So, yeah,
and they're not even foster parents, so they wouldn't even know these kids before they aged out of the system.
Yeah.
So so maybe become foster parents if you don't want to deal with adopting. I don't know. Yeah. But in my opinion, no kid should not have that support system.
Yeah.
Because 18, 19 in Alabama, you don't know what the fuck you want.
Nope. You're falling through the cracks.
Right.
Immediately.
Exactly. And you have probably not been taught shit through your life. Do you know how to do laundry? Mm-hmm. Do you know how to change a fucking tire?
Do you know how to apply for a job?
Do you know how to, anything?
Yep. And in Alabama, like, you lose your, you don't get housing assistance. You're not going to get any kind of medical insurance.
Yep.
In some states, I do know if you age out of the foster care system, you're still considered a ward of the state. So they'll give you Medicaid until you don't need it, but not in Alabama. When you hit 19, fuck you.
Yeah, it's gone. And so why not help a kid?
Yeah. Now, I will say, like, to the ethics of adoption, I would say if you're getting a TPR kid, the ethics are a little bit more clearer to me. They're a little bit less gray. Mm-hmm. If you're adopting a baby out of, especially even a foreign one, it gets a little iffy because it does feel kind of like, ooh, am I buying a child?
Yeah.
And even in the States, it's like, it can get a little cringy because you're like, ooh, if the biological parents had enough support and were able to do it themselves, would they even be putting the child up for adoption?
Right.
So the whole thing is icky.
Yes, it is very icky. I think there definitely needs to be more support.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure a lot of the parents that could, if they had help, be able to keep their kids.
Yeah.
And I see that kind of in Kiki.
Oh, yeah, completely.
I can bring her up because, her caseworker was just
god awful, yeah.
And was like, oh, you're in Coleman, but we're going to make your baby go all the way to Tuscumbia.
Tuscaloosa.
Oh, sorry, Tuscaloosa. I didn't want to say it. I guess I just put Tuscumbia.
Yeah.
Because I am an Auburn fan. How, as a 19-year-old, do you get a job, get a house, show that you can support your child, drive an hour and a half away, ? And then when your person tells you, you have a meeting today at 1:00.
Thanks for the notice.
How do I get there?
Yeah.
Why is my baby not in a foster home in Coleman?
Yep. I mean, like, we adopted Kiki as an adult and she aged out of the system, but if she didn't have us, she wouldn't have anyone.
Yeah, Kalia would have been adopted by somebody else and she would not be part of our family.
Yeah. And she would not be in her mother's family very much at all if they even let her see them.
Yeah, because, some parents can have that kind of open where you can see. But I mean, she wouldn't know her little sisters.
Mm-hmm. She wouldn't know her cousin.
She wouldn't know her uncle. Mm-hmm. She wouldn't know Auntie Jay. She wouldn't know Auntie Leia, Grandpa, Grandma. I mean, she has so much fucking family here.
Yeah.
And luckily Justin talked about it.
Yeah.
Because if Justin had never said, oh, I have a sister who has a daughter, you would have never known.
Had we had the option, we would have adopted her before she aged out of the system.
Right.
But they didn't even give us an option.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's because now me and you, we could have done it if we were married. Well, hell.
I meant before she aged out of the system, we could have adopted her.
Oh.
Because
did you know her before then?
We had met her, but she aged out literally like 2 months.
So, I mean, you
Yeah,
probably
it wouldn't
wouldn't have, but you guys had to drive all the way to fucking Florida to do an adult adoption because you're a same-sex married couple.
Yeah, good old
Which is
Alabama.
just stupid.
I agree. Oh, well.
To drive so fucking far just to adopt your daughter.
That's what you gotta do.
But we have an amazing family. Yeah. And I say we because
you're part of it.
I am Auntie J to like everybody. To Kiki, to her daughter, to her daughters, you know, so yeah.
Yeah, it's like there's a lot to be said about the adoption system in the world. It's icky, but removing yourself from it does not
help
make it less icky. Yeah. And it's like if you want to help, go help.
Right.
There are problems with it, and there definitely needs to be some like advocacy and change. Like they need to fund it better, and they need to like help families so it stay together.
And they need to not automate it, but
make it easier.
Well, because everything is paper still.
Well, that's only in Alabama. If it's other states, it's a lot easier.
Oh, okay. Well, Alabama needs to get their shit together and just put shit on computers because, whoa, it's rough. But yeah, so I mean, for you guys, you do you, but I think if you think that it's better for them to age out, don't do anything because you have the wrong mentality, in my opinion, because I feel like everybody should have a family.
Yeah. Once they've aged out, they fall into the cracks. So it's like, do it. If you're going to do it, do it.
Yep. But even if they're 17, then you can become their support system and family when they're 18, 19, 20. Mm-hmm. You know, when they start having kids, they're your grandbabies. Thanksgiving, Christmas, birthdays. You can celebrate with them. You're their family. Yep. It might take a while, but damn, at least give them some support.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm done.
Yep. All right, so this is a good spot. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back.
All right.
And we're back.
We're back.
All right, Miss Jennifer. So let's transition out. So if you have any funny stories about your kids,
or if you need some bad parenting advice, or if you have any ideas for topics,
or if you have opinions about the adoption system in the United States,
or opinions on any of these Reddit,
let us know.
Because as you can tell, we're very opinionated, and we love to debate. So if your opinions match, cool. If they don't, cool. I mean, we would love to hear other people's opinions as well.
One of these days, if we actually, like, people do start emailing in, and I wouldn't mind having, like, a Patreon where, like, we respond to, like, people write in and we'll talk about what they said.
Oh, yeah.
I think that'd be interesting.
Definitely. And then, like, when they have, like, Thanksgiving stories like we were talking about, like their nastiest meal they fucking had or the best meal, like the best part of theirs, we could also do that in there, too. Yeah. Because everybody has stories.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why we do this, and that's why we have guests. So, yeah.
Either way, email us at guidetopoorparenting@gmail.com. We want to hear from y'all.
Yes, please.
All right, Miss Jennifer, what are we snacking on?
So, we have been eating the Keebler Coconut Dreams Cookies Fudge. In essence, Samoas from the Girl Scout cookies. They're probably one of my favorite Girl Scout cookies. I really enjoy them. Thin Mints I like.
Oh, do you like, cause I had bought a box of Thin Mint, or, I don't know, Fudge Mint, or whatever the fuck Keebler calls them. And I was like, oh, I didn't think you liked them. So that's why I bought the Samoas.
I like them. They're not my favorite.
Okay.
Samoas are my favorite. So you did great. Thank you very much for that. Good. So, snack time, story
My
time.
turn? Yep.
It is your turn.
So this happened back in 2019, right after we got Kalia and Wesley. No, because Grandma went.
It was the second time we went to Gatlinburg.
You're right.
I know.
Okay. Sorry.
Sorry.
Don't yell
when
at me,
I remember something, I'm like, I remember. But no, this is the second time we took them because Grandma and Kyle went with us on the trip.
Yes. They had moved. Yeah. It was after the pandemic then.
Yeah.
They had moved here and we went to Gatlinburg and we had gone to, there's some sort of there's a ski resort in Gatlinburg and we had gone up there and I don't think we'd gotten there yet, but we were waiting on the bus in Gatlinburg right near the aquarium in downtown. Mm-hmm. And so we're all sitting around waiting at the bus stop.
And the bus stop is on the main street.
Yeah, right on the main drag in Gatlinburg.
It's the only main street that they have and everybody is driving
And it's very busy street.
Busy.
Yeah. And
Sorry, I had to interject.
And there was like some sort of Jeep convention, I think, because there was like hundreds of Jeeps around and fucking like rubber duckies everywhere.
So many rubber duckies.
So we're sitting at the bus stop and I think it was a bee or some sort of, I don't know, some sort of insect is hovering around. Kalia flips out because she's just scared of bugs and darts into the road, like onto the main drag of Gatlinburg. Jennifer reaches out and snags her before she gets hit, or at least snags her before she gets too far out in the road. And
I just grabbed the shit out of her because she was in the road. And I'm like, nope.
Yeah. And Zay and I lit into her ass. And oh my God, I was so mad at her. If she had gotten hit, I would have just been in a fucking wreck.
We all would have been.
Yeah. But she luckily avoided getting hit. But
Auntie Jay saved her life.
She sure did. But I do
that a lot on roads.
But yeah, I still remember that. I was like, oh my God, we were so mad because.
But it was a bug.
Yeah, she just saw that bug and did not think and did that. And Jason and Zane are both like yelling at her. Mm-hmm. I'm quiet because I'm just like, oh my fucking God. All the bad things that could have happened are going through my mind. So I have no words. Then, after Zane and Jason are done, like,
screaming at
her, she goes, sits next to Grandma, and I think Grandma's like, why did you do that? Like, there was no person that she could sit next to at that point that would not be like,
Wesley.
Yeah.
Well, Wesley would have.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
And like, she's crying and we're all like, we don't care now because we're all like adrenaline, wicked high, heartbeats because it could have been so bad.
Yeah. I'm so grateful that you were, cause I was like trying to get us to the Gatlinburg or whatever, where we were going.
Well, you were trying to get us to like that,
I was trying to get us someplace
thing, and we were at the aquarium bus stop to go to the aquarium because they had a bus stop that would take us to the ski lift, and then it takes us up this big thing where there's amusement park rides, putt-putt, like
lots of cool stuff.
The really cool thing where we slid down that massive hill, that was a lot of fun.
But I was distracted.
Yes.
And you, thank God, were paying attention and like caught her.
Yeah, because I think I was the only one that was standing up. Everybody else was sitting down at the bus stop, but I don't like to sit too long. So I think I was just standing up, and I just happened to grab her.
Oh, God, that was so scary. Because that bus stop is probably like in the central, like main drag, central artery of Gatlinburg.
And I mean, the
busy as shit.
Are like they're right there on the drag. So, I mean, that's like 4 steps, and you're in traffic.
Yeah. Oh, God.
So.
It always amazes
Auntie J being Superwoman.
Yes.
Wonder Woman.
But it always amazes me, like, if you want to piss a parent off or get them mad, scare them. Mm-hmm. And if you, like, cause I don't think kids will ever understand it until they have their own kids. Mm-hmm. But that is the thing that gets us the maddest. It's like when you scare us. Mm-hmm. If you scare us, we are fucking furious.
Mm-hmm. And
if you put yourself in danger and we're worried, you will
we see it.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yep.
So it was funny. We, right before we started the podcast, I had a different story picked out, and when Kalia gets mad at me about, telling all her stories. So I asked her permission before now. Mm-hmm. And I was like, can I tell the story? She's like, no, my teacher said not to. So I'm like, oh, God damn it. So we'll tell it next year when she's out of 5th grade.
There you go. That worked.
All right. So, to all our listeners, thanks for listening to another episode of A Guide to Poor Parenting.
If you like our podcast, please give us a 5-star rating on whatever platform you're listening on, or email us and let us know you like us, because that would be great.
Yep. And if you don't like our podcast, just like when our kids ask why they can't have pizza for dinner for the 4th night in a row.
Tough shit.
Eat some vegetables.
You need vegetables. You don't need pizza.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, guys. Thank you.